All right, we are now live. Hello, hello. Welcome. Sorry I'm running a teeny bit late today. I don't know, I think the morning just kind of escaped me and I was like, oh, it's already time. Oh my gosh, I gotta set up, set up. But anyway, I'm here now and I see that Evo Leia is here. Hello, Evo Leia. How are you doing? Good to see you here. Hopefully you weren't waiting too long. Oh my gosh. Well, anyways, so as for today, we are starting something new, as you can see right here. Um, I know I'm kind of feeling getting into the Halloween spirit a little bit. I know it's a little early, it's not quite October yet, but I wanted to finish this one in October, so it's gonna take me a while with all these details. So today I'm doing a little Halloween market, or getting started on it. I'm super excited. It's gonna be awesome. Uh, to start this piece off, I'm going to start with the sky, so I gotta drop it down a little bit. I know we got all these fantastic characters. It's gonna be so much fun. um, thank you, Evo Leia. Thank you. Hey, it's Nacho. Hi, Nacho. How you doing? Yeah, it's starting to start this Halloween market. I'm super excited. So right now we're gonna start with the background, and that's gonna be the sky here. Gonna be the sky, and I'm learning how to place this, and I'm visualizing the sky to look more like darker purple kind of thing, like a dusk kind of look. And then all the buildings will be like orange and purple as well. So we're playing with a lot of orange and purples in this one. I'm gonna start off. No, yeah, we're not skipping over Halloween, Evo Leia. We're not gonna skip that. For Even though I think when it's the Christmas season, a Christmas painting might be fun. All right. So to make my purple, I'm going to have this blue over here is dry, so I can just mix right on top of it. Actually, wait, I have, I'll just mix right on top of it. I'm gonna grab some of my French ultramarine, and I'm gonna grab some permanent rose. I thought this permanent rose was not as dry as it is, but I can make it work. And I'm gonna mix. This is looking pretty dark, so I think I added way too much French ultramarine, but that's okay. And it's Win. Hi, Win. How you doing? All right, so I got a nice purple, start of a purple here. I think it could use a little bit more pink and white. Okay, I'm liking this purple a little bit better, but we could add a little bit more blue. So yes, there are purple tubes of paint, but I personally like mixing my own purple. Just because I think that purple is such a wide range. Um, there's so many different kinds, so I like to have kind of control over what my purple looks like. And I'm kind of, since it's more of like a sky, I'm going to go more on the blue kind of side of it. Very sleepy. Aw, that's okay, Win. Hey, I'm here to send good vibes, start off the day good. You can wake up slowly, all is good. That's okay, Nacho. You're only here for a little bit. I'm happy you're here regardless. Alright, so add in a little bit more pink. And when I'm doing, like, mixing my purples, I really am going back and forth with, until I get a color that I like. And mixing little bits of color at a time. Okay, and I want my sky to be not extremely bright. So I'm just gonna add just a touch of black, like not much at all. Because black is pretty powerful. And I just want it ever so slightly more of a purpley gray. But I also don't want it to be purple gray. If that makes any sense. I'm just trying to dull it ever so slightly. Especially with my lighter purple. I gotta be very careful. There we go. Got my colors. And I'll push this aside. Put this back here. And I might have to, I just quickly set up, so I'm like, how do I rearrange a little bit? There we go. Yeah, you can see it good. There we go. All right. I'm gonna have to be careful because this is like on the edge of the dress. So for the sky, as you notice, I'm gonna start with my light purple here, and then it's gonna fade into the dark purple at the top. Grab my brush, dip it in some turpentine. I'm gonna go in with my lightest purple. I don't know why, but when I think of like a Halloween town or Halloween village, I always imagine it having a purple sky. That or an orange sky. And I'm gonna scooch this over. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave it right here. There we go. And then I'm gonna take my medium purple. I'm gonna put that in between, right on top. And I'm keeping in mind the direction that my skyline is going. And that will determine the direction that I am blending my paints. Oh, I see some. In touch, it's me. Hello, hello. Oh, welcome. Thank you. Aww. This makes me so happy. Alrighty, Nacho. That's alright, you gotta head out. Bye. And talk to you later. Bye bye. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, and I realized I didn't get a blending brush. So let me get a blending brush here. Where is it? There. Where is my fluffy brush? Wait, okay. This one will work. I don't know where the one I was thinking of is. It's in there somewhere. Alright, and then I'm just blending and keeping in the same direction as my paint strokes as I blend. And there we go. Got the first little bit of sky. I actually... Hold on. Sorry, I'm gonna have it upside down for a teeny bit because I want to make sure that it's going in the right direction because I thought it looked good. And then I looked back at the monitor over here and I was like, I'm actually not too... I'm like, that needs some adjustments. Yeah, in touch it's me. I didn't realize you got an account. I sorry I didn't say anything before. I was like a little bit like distracted here, but then I was like, ah, I didn't realize you made an account. So I'm so happy that you did. Yay. All right. Yeah. I wanted to I have this like kind of fancy fairy like dress on and I'm like, you know what? I need some fairy ears too. You know what? This camera I just noticed is slipping. There we go. I'm gonna adjust that camera. I am so sorry. I'm like, wait a minute, it was falling back. All right. And we'll move along. Oh, thank you, Win, for putting in the Discord too in the chat. Yeah, anyone who is here who wants to join, feel free to. Who hasn't joined already. There we are. Yeah, so just I'm gonna continue with the purple. So, funny story about this painting. I drew this around a year ago, and I was planning on because I don't know, yes, like last year I was like, I want to do a Halloween painting and do something fun, and I just never got around to it. Just always stayed in this sketch phase. But maybe it was meant for this stream. Maybe it was meant for all of you to watch. Aw, thank you, In Touch. Thank you. Yeah. I don't know. I always think of like when I think of Halloween, or like Halloween Town, I think of a purple sky. And also too, those would be the primary colors of this whole thing. So I'm gonna play with a lot of purples, a lot of orange. Um, It'll be fun. A little bit of red. I see little like hints of red here and there, like as accents. I have the vision in my head. And I had so many little hidden creatures in here too. Like you can see the little bat that's gonna be up here. And I have like a little like goblin or witchy character up here. We'll see what it ends up turning into. Maybe a mischievous little witch. And actually, what I'm using as a reference photo for this piece, so I didn't get all the buildings just out of my head or even the people. What I'm using as my reference photo is a picture I took at the Renaissance Festival. So that's why it kind of has like a little bit of a Ren Fair feel, but I swapped out all the people. Instead of Ren Fair clothes, they look like Halloween monsters. And but I did add a couple too, such as like the ghosts. Oh, there's some ghosts here that I added in, and I used a little bit of my imagination. And then of course, so what's nice about the reference photo is that I can keep in mind where shadows are and perspective. But once I have those, I can kind of and understand it. I can kind of add my own thing. Aw, thank you, Win. Thank you. I'm flattered that you call it already one of your favorites. It's like not even close to being done. It's just the beginning stages. Yeah, and you know, I was thinking with this piece too. I love Halloween so much and I always look forward to it each year. But sometimes I'm like, why do I necessarily have to wait? You know, if I feel inspired to do a painting, it doesn't matter what time of year it is, I can do it. I guess it's just more fun when it's already in the theme of this current season, huh? And then I'm gonna blend. All right. And then I'm going to move this aside. That's true. That is true. And that's why I'm kind of starting it early right now, too. But you know what? Is it really that early if I'm already seeing all the Halloween stuff in the grocery stores and and everything? I don't think I'm that early. But I will agree, it's still a little early. But I'm super excited. And I really enjoy doing these market ones. Like when I've done the other um Ren Fair market, I've done a couple of those and they're so much fun to do. I love all the details and I like the storytelling behind it. I also like to I like a painting where you can stare at it and each time you do, you see something new. And that's what I like to achieve in my more detailed pieces. I like to, you know, have stories. Like it's not just one story here, there's multiple. It is. It is. I agree with you in touch. It is a great time of year. I agree. Yeah. And once I'm done with this purple sky, I think might as well move on to some of the buildings. Alrighty, Win. See you in a little. Alright, actually I'm gonna blend this a little bit better right here. Yeah, and I have a vision in my head too with this sky. I want to add like not a ton of stars, but like little touches of twinkling stars, but that'll be later once it's dry. And actually I see right here I see like some parts that are a little like too light for what I want. I want it to be a bit darker. And right here too. I want it to be a bit darker. There we go. All right. So how about I start? I'm thinking I'm going to start on this building here and work this way. Because if I rest my hand on it, I don't want to smudge the paint in any way. Yeah, because that makes sense. Yep. All right. So first work on this one. And I am visualizing this one to be, let's see, in the photo reference, it's like a kind of a earthy brown color. But, yeah, I think I'm going to do brown and orange is going to be my colors that I work with. Wait, what am I doing? There we go. Just wiping off and cleaning my brushes. All right. Oh, now I remember what I was doing. I was like, I'm reaching for something, but I don't know what. Getting some orange. A bit of white. Orange. Or you know what? Mm. No, I'll make it orange. I'll make it a different color. This one over here is gonna be a brighter orange, and then that one will be more of a brownie orange. Maybe add some green in there. I might do some green ivy. I don't know. I'm also kind of going with the feeling I'm like kind of being a little spontaneous. Or not spontaneous. Kind of going with the flow of where my inspiration goes. Yeah. Kind of feeling it. Where does it lead me? Where shall this painting take me? All right. So actually, I'm gonna scooch this aside for a sec. Maybe over here. There we go. And I'm gonna mix my orange colors. So I have my white, orange, yellow, and since I'm going with a darker kind of orange for this house, oh, you know what goes really nice to make a really nice dark orange is burnt sienna. That's what I mean. I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting a color. Good old burnt sienna. Add some white, orange, yellow, and burnt sienna, and that'll make my darker orange color. As you can see with all my colors, I mix so many different pigments just to make them. I'm going to add a little bit of burnt umber to kind of make more of a darker orange, maybe a little bit more just pure orange. And I think I want a lighter orange too. Let this be more my medium. This yellow's like much more dry than I was hoping. See, it becomes like kind of sticky. A little bit more white. All right, and there we go. All right, and I'll put the palette aside, and then I'll grab my painting. There we go. You have a good view of it. Dip my brush in some turpentine. Kind of make it watery a little bit. And I'm thinking I want the building itself to be orange. I'll go in with my darks and my other lights. So right now I'm also just color blocking. There we go. And then I'm gonna dip my paintbrush into the dark orange. Paint in my shadow. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I actually kind of want more of like a little wood grain type texture going on. Hold on. Something's going on. And actually what I'm going to do is I have a dark part of the roof. I'm going to make like more of a dark brown. So I'm adding some burnt, no, not burnt. Well, no, I will add a little bit of burnt sienna. I'm adding the burnt umber, burnt sienna, white and black to make the roof. So I'm mixing that right now. Hey, welcome back, Win. Yeah, as you can see, I'm started now on the roof of the first building. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Win, I totally forgot the little stream avatars. I am so sorry. Ah, that is true. Hold on, let me do that. Give me 1 second. Okay, we are back. And we now have baby dragons. Thank you, Win, for pointing that out. Like I said, this morning just completely got away from me, and I was like, I was setting up and already 5 minutes late, and I was like, oh my gosh, what happened to this morning? Don't worry, we got the baby dragons. I know, I know. And I know you were trying to remind me last time, and I forgot them. And I didn't even notice you reminding me either, which I feel so bad. Oh, and Win, I did see your message, and I just haven't looked at it yet on Discord of Rayla's hair designs. Um, I'm so sorry. I got busy yesterday, and um, yesterday I kind of needed a little bit of quiet time just with no social media, no phone, so not many messages were looked at or answered. So, but I will tomorrow. I will, or not tomorrow, just I will today. I will later today after the stream look at your message. So, I haven't ignored you. I haven't forgotten. I just needed a day of re-energizing. I am a busy little fairy. That is very, very true. That I am. And I'm also, right now, I'm just like color blocking and working on the first layer. So I will be going back once it's dry and adding in a second layer with more details. And I want to give like this nice, see in my head this like nice wood grain texture to all the buildings. And I want to add that. But also they're from far away, so it won't be super detailed. It'll just be kind of like some brush strokes, very suggestive. Um, but I do have ideas for more details. Yeah, there's a little cat on the roof. Yep. See, all kinds of fun little details. So in the photo reference, this little shop here is selling brooms and staffs, like wizard staffs. And I think I kind of want to keep that because I think it's kind of witchy, like a little broom store. I think that sounds cute. And also, you can see like a merchant here and he's like buying his staff. I think that'll be a cute little detail to keep. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call this one building right over here. We shall see. I'm gonna see where the flow. Ah, and it's Isaac. Hi, Isaac. How you doing? I don't know. Does anyone else have any suggestions of maybe possible, like possibilities of different stores that would exist in a Halloween village? Maybe that this one could be themed around? I was thinking of maybe like a bakery or a candy store. What other businesses would exist in a Halloween village? What? What, Isaac? There's a new Mario movie. I didn't know that. I mean, I'm not surprised though with how popular and successful the first one was. Hopefully the first one's just as good as the hopefully the second one's just as good as the first. Sorry, I got all twisted around there with my words. Cuz I will say the first one was very good. Hopefully they keep on that winning streak. A scary weapons store. That would be funny win. I could see it in the Halloween town though. I like the whimsicalness of the witch accessories. Yeah, because I could see that storefront, this one over here, being like a boutique kind of style. Witchy fashion. That could definitely work. Huh. The Mario Galaxy movie. Interesting. Well, sounds like another adventure. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm kind of going with that same feeling of the cozy witch cottage, like kind of same universe. That's what I'm going for here with this one. Like maybe the cozy witch, like this is the town and the cozy witch cottage is just a little bit down the street. I also have to, I want to think of like a cute name for these stores. Like something, maybe like either really whimsical or like kind of pun worthy. We'll see. Yep, and I'm just painting in the shadows. And next I'll paint the sign in, and the sign is going to be just solid. And then I'll do the words later once it's dry. Otherwise, it's really hard to draw the words onto a sign and then paint around it. Nearly impossible. So it's better to just do solid colors first and then details on top later. No, Isaac, I haven't played it. There's not many Mario games that I've played, only like a few. So I'm going in with my light orange for the sign, and I think this is too bright for the whole sign, but I did want it as like the edges. And then I'm gonna mix a even lighter orange and a tad here. Also why I'm excited for this painting to do on stream, because there's so many colors and so many different like variety of things going on, so it's gonna keep it interesting. Gonna keep the streams interesting for sure. And also too, I think why the sign is shaped like this is because it's meant to look like a scroll, which I kind of like that detail, and I'm gonna keep it. But in order to do that again, I'm just gonna simply color block in colors first, and then on the second layer, go back in with details. So it won't be such an odd shape in the end. I promise it'll make a lot more sense once I have the details in. But you can kind of see the scroll outline, kind of the silhouette of one. Isaac, I like your idea of a vampire restaurant, the vampire style food. So what? So is all the food served raw then? I could see that. Ooh. I might have to do that, and I might have to make a whole series of these paintings. I like this idea of a vampire themed restaurant. Oh yeah. When absolutely the cat will have yellow eyes for sure. Yeah, this cat's a bit far away. So I don't know how big the eyes are going to be. The eyes won't be very big, but I'll definitely make them yellow. And I'm just blending out all the edges. Okay, there we go. And I wanted to make, like I said, a lighter version of this orange here. So I'm going to take some white paint and a little bit of that color there. I'm going to mix it together. And then just adding in the color. Ooh, oh, wine brewery, vampire wine brewery. Okay, I like that name, Win. That's creative. I like that. Vampire wine brewery. I could see that too. I can picture that. There you go. Everyone who steps in, it's for vampires only, so you have to become a vampire if you're gonna dine in this restaurant. I like this idea. This might be a whole other painting just by itself. I'm actually considering this now. See, look, I'm barely started one painting and already thinking of possibilities of others. I'm washing off my brush because my fluffy brush that I have is still stained purple. And I don't really want purple on this sign. Yep, that's right, Isaac. You are right on. You know your vampire lore. So should right next door to this restaurant, their biggest competition, should it be like a sea monster themed restaurant where it's like all seafood? Be the next one. Maybe the Sea Monsters restaurant is like just one giant fish tank. Here we go. Sweet. And yes, I know that this rooftop is a bit just solid right now, just one solid color. There's not much dimension to it, but I do have plans of how to make the roof shingles. So I'll show that in a minute. And I want to keep it very blended because, again, it's kind of far away. Yes, the building's more up front here, especially compared to that one. But also, too, I don't want to spend time, like, shaping every little roof shingle. Especially that I decided that a cat needed to be on the roof. There we go. It's almost done. And yes, I'm painting the edges as well. And I gotta go around the cat. The smartest thing would have probably just to paint over the cat, then re-add it in later, but oh well, it's too late already. I started painting around the cat. There we go. And then I'm blending what I just painted, making all the edges soft. Continuing that over here. All right, and then I gotta add in a little bit more in here. There we go. So, what I'm gonna do now is that I have my little flat brush right here, and I want to make sure that I do like paint all the roof shingles in the correct direction, so I'm actually going to have it more not so upside down to me because I don't want to warp it, but also I want you guys to see it well too. There we go. And I'll just put my paint palette over here. That works. Okay. It's not it's not terribly upside down for you. Well, it is upside down, but at least you can still see it good. And I'm gonna take my flat brush, and I am going to, oh, I need to make a lighter brown. So I'm gonna take this brown, and I'm going to add a little bit of white to it. There we go. And once I have my color mixed, I'm gonna dip it in. I'm gonna, just like that. And for this, I'm not going for complete perfection because I don't want my roof to have to be totally perfect. Because we're kind of going with spooky vibes here, right? Where it's not completely all the same, maybe even a little mix match. I think I'm gonna make it slightly lighter too. I'm gonna add a little bit more white to it. I was afraid this was already gonna be too light of a color. But then once I added it on here, I was like, oh, actually, it's not light enough, not enough contrast. I don't know that story, but that sounds like a very spooky, good Halloween story, Isaac. Yeah, it kind of sounds like Hotel Transylvania a little bit. I like that movie. That's a cute movie. The tiles on here kind of look like mosaic tiles. I want some to go over the edge. Yeah, make a couple uneven. You know, it's not perfect. I wanted to add some shadow to these top ones too. And there's a darker shade because that's where the shadow is. Almost looks like the orange is glowing against the purple. There we go. And I do want to add a little bit of shadow as well in between the roof shingles, just in some places to kind of give it a little bit more dimension. So I'm gonna take like the darkest dark that I have. It's a very like dark brown black color. I'm gonna take the edge of my brush and I'm gonna blend it in and work it in. Yep, and then I kind of just do my like tapping technique where I tap 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 as I blend. This also kind of gives a nice like rough texture in a subtle way. And so I'm staying loose, but I'm also staying detailed. It's kind of like this nice blend between the two. And I can't forget to add the shadow underneath the cat. It's funny, like, don't ever forget the shadow underneath objects. That's what makes them look like they're not just floating there. Which, this is a Halloween town, so it could be a flying cat, yes. But I don't think I want that in this instance. I'm glad to see that you guys are having fun with the baby dragons. See, look, it's so funny. It's like the progress gets moving along good, and then it slows down a lot when there are tiny details involved. But that's how painting is. That's what goes into each of my pieces. And I'm just not forgetting the shadow underneath the sign either. I noticed some spots where I could have had shadow. I didn't add it in. Gonna add it in now. What would I do if I encountered a vampire? I don't know. Is this vampire friendly or is this vampire not friendly? Because the vampire's friendly. I think that's okay. Fairies and vampires can be friends, right? But I think if the vampire was not friendly, Isaac, I think I'd be scared. I'd run away. The vampire's friendly? Well, then I would become friends with the friendly vampire. If anyone's nice, then I'm all good for that. Oh man, when you sound prepared. Hey, that's good. Much more prepared than me. I'm like, I'll just run. There we go. I see some areas in the roof that I kind of do want to refine a bit. I'm gonna do that. And I also want to give this roof some texture too. It's looking a little too smooth and perfect for me. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna wash this brush. I'm gonna take my flat brush and add in some texture for the roof. There we go. And I'm actually going to spin this around because I can do this technique better. If it's upside down from me, which actually you all get to see it now right side to you, which is kind of cool. Hopefully I don't get purple paint on myself. There we go. Look at that. Hey, you also sound very prepared, Isaac. I think you and Win would win. Me, I don't know. All right. So I'm going to continue with the same orange that I have here. I'm going to put my paint palette back over this way. And I'm going to paint the orange. Right here. Continuing with the same theme. I'm going to bring this up a little bit so you can kind of see the details in the people. As you can see right now, I'm painting around a ghost, which I want to keep kind of like transparent. I don't want them to look like, yes, it's those like sheet ghosts, but I want them to actually be transparent. So what I'm going to do is add in a little bit of orange in between, but keep the outline, and you'll see later what I'll do to make them more ghost-like. There we go. And just adding a bit more. And I'm going around the roof And then blending in the orange, and I want to keep it that uneven too. That like uneven ricketiness, whimsical. I think this is my favorite theme of Halloween is the more whimsical side, not so much the like super ultra scary. That part I don't care for too much, but I really, really like the whimsicalness. So that's what I'm more inspired by this piece. Aw, thank you, Win. Thank you. Yeah, this orange against the purple, it really looks like it's glowing, doesn't it? Looks like it's glowing. Ooh. Spooky. And now I'm gonna clean off my brush and I'm gonna go back in and retouch up the roof. Kind of blend it in. And now I'm gonna go with my darker orange color. And blend that too. And really blend it in. Here we are. And I'm going to clean my brush off again, and then I'm going to blend it again. So again, a lot of blending. Going back in with some lighter orange. Try to lighten that up right there, straighten this out. Really, evil Leia? You can smell the art. You can smell the oil and the turpentine. That's too funny. It's coming right through the monitor. I do know what you mean though. Sometimes I'll like see something and it will remind me of a smell. Yep. Or I'll get that way when like I see other cosplayers working with foam and it's like, yep, I can almost smell the contact cement. And so inside this store in the reference picture, it's just all dark. It's like completely dark because there's not really any lights. And I've learned from my previous paintings of doing market scenes like this, I personally don't like the look when it's just like a dark hole in the storefront. It doesn't look warm, it doesn't look inviting, it just looks kind of dark. So I want it to look very inviting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make up my own lanterns. And I need some more yellow because as you remember, my yellow's all like dried up on my palette. And I'm gonna just make some. I'm almost out of this yellow paint. I think I have. I hope I have backup yellow. Yes, I do. I do have a backup yellow. Yay. Yeah, and in real life, these stores are quite bright. It's just how the camera captured them because it's capturing the outside light. But once you get inside, it's like your eyes adjust. It doesn't look dark. There's even skylights and that kind of thing because, the Ren Fair's like indoor, outdoor. It's all kind of one. So, but the phone cameras don't quite see it that way. Instead, I gotta kind of makeshift my own and create something from my own imagination. Could I lighten up all the details in here? Yes, I could definitely do that. But trust me, I love it when you can almost see like the lanterns coming through and it just looks so nice and warm. All right, what I'm gonna do is, so it looks like there's some, I gotta think, where do I wanna put my lanterns? Now up here is like where there's a natural skylight, and since there is already natural light coming in through there, I'm gonna stick my candle lanterns up at the top. Like maybe there's some kind of hanging chandelier or something. Or maybe there's even torches. You know what? Actually, I got a vision. What if there's torches all on the upside over here? And I'm just doing the light from the lights. I'm not actually painting them. I'm not making little lanterns or little torches or even orbs. I want it to be a warm light source coming from the inside somewhere. Because, like when you're looking at shops from a street view. This is basically a street view. You don't necessarily always see the lights where they are coming from inside. You just know that they're there. You don't see the shape of the lamp. Not all the time. Depends on how close you are. And that is what I am portraying here. And I think this one, I'm just going to take this brush and blend it. Because it's a little too... Lamp, exactly. We're painting some lamps. Maybe I'll take this. Oh, wait. Aha. I have this brush I could use. And I'll blend it. And I know it looks a little strange right now, but trust me, it will make all sense in the end. And I'm going to take, I kind of ran out of my darker orange, the one that I mixed with the burnt sienna, because I used it for the rooftops. So I'm going to take some of the medium orange, mix that with burnt sienna, and I'm going to also add a tiny bit of that raw umber to darken it up a bit. And that's what I'm going to use as the insides of the store. Sorry. Yeah. Sneeze. Tiny sneeze. I'm back to making the animal ears. So there's a little bit of fur floating around. Fur. Yep, so first I'm going to lay down this this like a dark orange brown color, and then I'll go back in with a darker, even a darker shade of this as my shadows. And I have a vision for this store. I kind of want to, not like super detailed paint in merchandise, but like the suggestion that there's merchandise there because I don't want it just to look like an empty store, you know? This is the only staff they sold. No, I want a little bit more history than that. I want a little bit more story. Sorry, I'm changing out my napkin. Be blending the lights, warming it up. This might be a Halloween town, but I want it to be a welcoming town. Oh my gosh, you were right, Win. Well, I'll go a little teeny over, one, because I'm not at a good stopping point, but two, I know I was running a bit late. Yeah, I can't believe how fast time has gone. That's crazy. Yeah, and I just realized too, I didn't really set a goal for myself. I didn't know how much I really wanted to get done. I think I was just kind of feeling where this piece was going. Normally, I always do set a goal at least, but start of the painting, first stream with this painting. I'd say I made pretty good progress still. Let's see if I can at least get the insides of the store, or at least the base colors of the inside of the store done. That would be awesome. Thank you, Win. Thank you. And I think I realized what I want to do for this storefront, and for the next one. I think I want to make this one, of course, the wizard staff store, but also this one, I'm feeling it as a little boutique or something. We'll see. Ah. And it's okay if I paint a little bit over the figures and the characters that are here, um, because I'm just going to paint right over them. That's why you always do the backgrounds first, because, you know, it's easier to paint over something than to constantly go around and try to touch up. A squirrel is a wizard. Yeah, that'd be funny. Maybe I could make a little squirrel home in the tree, because I got this really big chunky tree here. And that actually might be kind of cool. If I added a little squirrel in there. Not a bad idea. Thinking about it now. Uh-oh. Yeah, I do want to do something more to this tree right here. I think it's very just, it's kind of just there. And it's like very just, like it looks like a column. And yes, that's how it is in the picture too, because it's kind of like part of the building. You know, it's more of like a sculpture, but I want it to look like an actual tree in my painting, like a living tree. So, not sure what to do right now. I know something will definitely come to me. I don't know, maybe wrap some ivy in it or something. I'll think of something to make it look a little bit more natural. I at least want to finish the inside of the store, because I'm really in like this, not at a good stopping place right now. I really want to just here want to finish the inside of the store at least. Nacho! Hi, Nacho! Welcome back for the tail end. Look, I've made some good progress. Yeah, right at the end here. Yeah, I'm going to finish the inside of the storefront and then I'll call it here. So far, so good. I am liking this piece. Oh my gosh. Been wanting to do this piece for a while. You know what? Maybe it was just meant to be. Maybe I was supposed to like paint this piece and hang out with everyone here, you know? It was meant for the live stream and I just didn't know it when I first drew it. I always do say things happen for a reason. Almost done here. There we go, almost done. I know, sorry I went quiet for here for a minute. I was just really in focus mode. Because I do want to get this done. So suddenly I kind of focus. And maybe I'll do the floor next time. I'll do the floor next time because I want to make sure that it's in proper perspective and everything. Thank you, Eva Leia, for the rainbow heart. Aw, thank you. Just a tad over time, but that's okay. Hey, I gotta make up for it somehow because I know I was running late. So. You know, I think this, like looking at the colors and looking how the oil paint's behaving on this canvas. I think I'm going to need a second layer in the background anyway, because it's not as solid as I would like it to be. So that's okay. I'll need eventually a second layer. Yeah, this canvas has almost like this really weird waxy kind of texture on it. So, I mean, it's nice for blending, but then at the same time, it doesn't really soak in the paint. So, it leaves my colors kind of looking transparent, which is okay. That's why I can just do a second layer, no big deal. Alrighty. There we are. There we go. Uh-oh. And of course, I touched the purple. Of course I do. Of course I forget that this canvas is on a matte board and not normal where I can just touch the sides freely. I'll blend that back out. It'll be okay. It's all good. Alrighty. Here we are. Here, I'll put this in better perspective for everyone. Yay! I am super excited with how this one is turning out so far. Aw, thank you, Win. Thank you, Nacho. And thank you, Evil Leia. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Nacho. I like the vibes too. Good. I'm good. I'm glad that it's like the good vibes are translating of more whimsical Halloween. Hey, and it's Blood. Hi, Blood. Thank you. Thank you so much. Alrighty, well, thank you everyone here for joining and for watching. And I will be back on Tuesday next week, same time, where I will continue to work on this little Halloween market. Yeah. And it'll be fun. It's gonna be I can't wait. I have so many fun ideas with this. So, and I'm glad that you're all here to watch me. Well, all right. I will see you all next week, same time on Tuesday already. Bye for now. Thank you.